The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Cash Converters.
Good evening, the mountain. It is calling for night number 5, Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. The bloke alongside me is going to be racing at Bathurst for real. But Garth, tonight we're talking about the E-Series stars, both the pros and the all-stars, teaming up tonight endurance style. We saw it for Sandown. We're going to do it again tonight. Looking forward to this one.
It's like the E-Series is sort of doing what we should be doing in the main game. Co-driver race at Sandown and then a co-driver race at Bathurst. Great to be back at the mountain, as we all love going there. So great to have a two-driver race, very similar to what we saw at Sandown. Yep. And some big championship implications in this one as well.
Yeah, Brodie Kostecki and Jared Filsell were a cut above the rest at Sandown, and they are definitely tipped to be quick again tonight. We did see that last time, so keep an eye out for those guys. But it is Mount Panorama, and anything can happen at Bathurst. We've seen that on numerous occasions. And who is the mountain going to pick tonight? You've been lucky enough, Garth, to win there on 4 occasions. I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning, the year 2000.
Yeah, barely had colour TV back then, Chad. So it was obviously, that's the first time I ever finished a race. So it's like, it's not that hard, you just got to finish it. And then obviously winning it at HRT with Will Davo and then again with Nick Percat, who was a rookie that year. So that was a good battle with Lowndesy at the end there and got over the line. And then, yeah, Nick was carrying on like a kid on cordial on the podium, as you'd expect. Great. It's a great feeling. And then obviously sharing the car with Shane for his first Bathurst victory. And it was actually said to me afterwards that all my Bathurst wins have been with first-time winners.
Yes.
So obviously myself and Barks, we were both first-time winners. From that point on, we were all first-time winners that I shared the car with. So that's pretty cool.
Doesn't bode well for this year then.
No, well, stats are meant to be broken, Chad. Let's hope so.
3 different teams, 4 different co-drivers. One of those occasions you were a co-driver yourself. Does any one of those stand out as a personal favourite across the journey?
Probably 2011, sharing the car with Nick. A lot of people didn't think that we were going to win the race because Nick was a rookie and we weren't that strong through the championship year. But the car was really fast. Nick did a great job, and we battled both the Vodafone cars, both Jamie and Craig, throughout the 1,000 Ks and come out on top after a pretty big battle with Lowndesy at the end. So that one was pretty special.
That is what I'm looking forward to seeing. Fans back at the mountain. We got a little bit of a taste of that at the end of last year, but it's starting to get its vibe back, Mount Panorama, and what it is like on a big day with a big crowd up there at Turn 1 and that vibe on Sunday morning. There is nothing like it.
No, there is nothing like it, and that was a shame about winning in 2000. It was like a ghost town. There was tumbleweeds blowing up Mountain Straight after we won the race. But last year it was great to have some fans back and then, back to a fully fledged crowd. Hopefully this year when we head back up there in October. So it is such an iconic place. And we roll into the track at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning, and there's already people got their spot at Turn 1 ready for the start of the race. It's such an awesome atmosphere.
Well, that is what we're going to get a small taste of tonight. But in its virtual form, iRacing on Bathurst is excellent, and SwiftX qualifying is where it's all going to start. We will be setting the field for the top 5 shootouts, so stick around. SwiftX qualifying is coming right up.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Bosch Professional Tools, backed by a 6-year guarantee.
Unreal value just got better at Pizza Hut. Pick up our new range from just $3. Enjoy delicious new sides like flame-grilled meatballs.
Hey, Dougie, mate, this is a pickup ad.
From $3. That's unreal.
Andre Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Ah, looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Bosch Professional Tools, backed by a 6-year guarantee.
SwiftX qualifying is go at Mount Panorama, green flag in the air. And they are going to roll on out for what is going to be a big night of racing. 20 cars gracing the mountain tonight. And this is all about setting positions 6 through 20 because it wouldn't be Bathurst without a shootout, and that is what we've got coming our way tonight. But there is a little bit of a clause there, Garth. So it's the pros that go out and do qualifying, but it's the all-stars who have to do the shootout.
So, yes, if you're an all-star, you're currently waiting in the cockpit of your sim to see if your pro driver makes it through to the top 5 shootout. So it's all about getting a lap time in 20 minutes in this session. So roughly enough time for 4 or 5 runs.
Yep.
And depending on how quickly you escape out of it. So all about getting yourself prepped. It's just like any other qualifying session. Want to get one on the board nice and early because Bathurst wouldn't be Bathurst without a few twists in the storyline, even in qualifying.
So away we go then, Jordan Caruso. He's in the Monster Energy colours for Tickford. And the championship battle is on with this guy right now. So job 1, get it somewhere in that top 5 is the first job for Jake Burton. But a little bit of a strange approach to the evening. They've had a late co-driver announcement today. Cooper Murray, so former Carrera Cup star, finished second in the championship last year, moves in to replace Andre Heimgartner for the night.
Yep, Andre obviously has Sandown on this weekend for the Repco Supercars Championship, so focusing on that one. And Cooper Murray, who was a call-up driver for Brad Jones Racing earlier in the championship as well, very fast sim driver, so he will get the job done for Jake Burton. But as you said, Chad, first thing Jake needs to do right here, right now, is lay down a nice opening qualifying lap, keep yourself inside the top 5 so you're ready, hopefully, to give Cooper Murray a chance in the shootout to come straight after qualifying.
Interestingly, looking at the onboard camera, looking back at him then, it looked like he has his side mirrors turned off, which you can actually do in iRacing to try and get a better sort of frame rate going within the game. But then when we take this angle, which is being fed through the iRacing system to us in Sydney, you can actually see from outside the mirrors. So different ways that you can tune things up.
I think that's just about the inputs that the driver likes having coming at them while they're sitting in the cockpit of their actual sim. So, as you said, Chad, different to what we're seeing right here, right now, but you get so much visual stimulation that you probably just don't need, especially qualifying, you don't need the rear vision mirrors.
Yep.
And if you're using a spotter in iRacing, then you probably don't need your mirrors anyway, because you've got someone telling you where the cars are around you. So you don't need that visual stimulation. You don't need that distraction, if you like, of things moving around in the rear vision mirror.
So what are these first lap times going to be like? We saw some pretty quick 2:03s in practice earlier. We're going to get a fast lap to start things off. Track conditions, 31 degrees track temp, so pretty warm at the moment. And not a lot of cloud cover. And Jake and also his teammates starting to find a little bit of traffic at the end of their lap.
Wow, some really quick times coming in straight away.
Whoa, 2:02.1.
Caruso with a 2:02.1. So that's a seriously fast time. Madison Down was third. Now he continues to drop down the order. Dane Warren second with a 2:02.2. Jared Filsell, 2:02.3. Madison Down, that time had him on the front row. Now finds him on the outside of the second row with a 2:02.3. So we saw a 2:02.2 in practice earlier, just before we came on air for qualifying. So already first lap, Jordan Caruso has just nailed a 2:1. Talking about getting nailed, that looks like Dane Warren was getting nailed coming out of pit exit.
That was an awkward one. Luckily for him, he can just escape straight back into the pits and hop on the back of the train, so he's not going to lose too much time out of this. Better that happen now than in the race. Jonathan Simon watching on the action tonight. Looking forward to a big night at the mountain. Jonathan, always exciting.
Always exciting. Everybody should have this place tattooed to their body somewhere, I reckon, Chad. It's such an awesome venue as Mount Panorama. What I don't like are the qualifying games at the moment, and the stewards aren't going to like this. They've already warned the drivers at Sandown, you need to keep the speed above 60 kilometres an hour for most of the lap. They've sort of been warned by the driving standards observer, the head stewards, everybody involved on that front. Yes, we have virtual stewards involved in the E-Series. Now, you might notice a last name Cini in pole position. That's Jordan Cini. So he races in Formula Ford. He stepped in for Jake Kostecki last minute to step into that Tickford Racing Monster Energy Mustang. Jake Kostecki's had internet issues, so Cini steps in. Big night for him if he's going to have to qualify that car in the shootouts.
Jonathan, while we've got you there quickly, why are they doing this right now? Why is everyone backing up? We just saw Dane Warren get on through quickly, but the rest of the field are backed up. Looks like Moto 3 qualifying.
It does. It looks like a shambles, doesn't it? And we had this last year as well. And this was the round where the rule was introduced because of the chaos that occurred at Bathurst. And then for the final round at Hungary, they introduced that. What the stewards might do is actually warn the entire field rather than give out penalties. And I think that might happen. I might go and
get the feeling it's coming pretty soon. Do you remember that, was it practice or qualifying at the 12-hour, the kangaroo was in front of the field and everyone was at walking pace?
Like that.
I feel like there's a virtual kangaroo out there right now. Well, that we're under virtual safety car conditions. It's the slowest outlap I've ever seen at Mount Panorama.
It's quite strange because we saw Dane Warren, who got caught up leaving pit lane, had to exit, reset and came back out past the entire field and is already gone. He's off. He's about to start a flying lap. The rest of the field's decided for some reason that this is the way to go about it. So the only thing I can think of is that you want to be at the back of this pack and get a big massive tow, potentially up Mountain Straight and down Conrod, and whether there's some lap time in that. Dane Warren doesn't seem to think so. He took off. He's going to do the lap time by himself. So they're all starting to get up to speed now as they leave Forest Elbow. There's Dane Warren. He's actually leaving the chase. So he's the entire length of Conrod Straight in front of the field. He's effectively doing a shootout right now. There's no one else near him. So he has the track to himself because he knows for sure that the rest of the field are bunched up right behind him on Conrod Straight. Look behind him. No one there. No one in his mirrors. He doesn't have to turn his mirrors off, Chad, because there's no one in them.
Had he gone any earlier out of that queue of cars, he would have been hitting traffic on his fast lap.
You could catch him on the way around.
This is crazy stuff. So race control has just politely reminded everybody to keep to the
get on with it,
the limitations here. Let's pick it up a notch and try and go SwiftX qualifying.
I would have, if I was in that pack and I saw one of the fastest guys on iRacing come past in a hurry, I would have latched onto his rear bumper, and I'm doing what he's doing. I wouldn't have been doing what the pack was doing. I'm chasing the 25 car, or the number 2 car of Dane Warren, because if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
That makes a lot of sense. He has been the form man over the last 2 seasons, but this year it's not gone his way. It started to fall apart at Sandown. And we're getting a bit of an expose to just how good this guy is at the mountain. Wow. That was all the way to the grate. And then some, just about scraping the fence, wall to wall, all the way through Skyline. Down we go. Down through the dipper. Get the power on. 3rd gear. Let's just watch how he carries this down through the elbow. 1st gear.
Yeah, that helped that pull the car up, then see him grab 2nd. So that's an iRacing trick. Use 1st to slow the car down, then right in the mid-corner, straight back up to 2nd on the drive phase, so you don't spin the tyre up. I heard them doing that at Winton, actually, and it got my attention that there was a little trick that some of the iRacing gurus were up to. So just using an extra gear to slow the car down. Tip it into the chase, full noise. Back to 2nd. Doesn't use that overslow trick here, because you want to keep the flow of the car up through the chase, so you get a nice exit out under the Armour All Bridge for the run down to the final corner, which is the most nerve-wracking braking zone in Australia, because you've just done 2 minutes of your best work, and you don't want to ruin it in the last 5 seconds by throwing it up the escape road at the final corner. Dane Warren comes across the line. What does he do?
Oh, good lap.
2:02.14 puts him to the top by 4 100ths, if you don't mind.
Thousandths of a second covering the top 2. As the rest of the pack,
the rest of the Moto3 field make their way through.
Remember these guys? They're all still out there, and they are working their way down the mountain. I wonder if Dane Warren will get an extra lap in this session because of that.
Oh, I would have thought. I mean, the time that these guys took on that outlap was so pedestrian. It is a scenic drive, Mount Panorama, and they were taking it at scenic pace. The Penrite car into the wall, coming down to Forest Elbow. So that lap's over and out for them.
That was Griffin Gardner. And Andrew Gilliam with the race face on. Truck Assist Racing, nice slipstream down the front of Conrod. He's going to get nice and close to the BP Ultimate car of Jake Maloney. He's got a new co-driver tonight in Jack Boyd, who was doing some pretty impressive practice laps earlier. Typically races Aussie racing cars. What we got from Andrew Gilliam on this lap? He's got a very serious race face on. Get a little bit of traffic at the exit.
Held up a little bit. The time is to the control line. Gilliam does improve.
He goes in.
2:02.2.
And that has knocked the championship leaders out of the top 5. So now Madison Down and Jake Burton sit 6th and 7th. We're starting to get a little bit of a storyline. This could be interesting. Can the BJR boys fight back after a couple of really strong events for them? 1st and 2nd in the points. Brenton Hobson working his way down the hill in the cash converters colours. The car's made the switch over from Mustang to Holden for this evening's racing. What are we seeing at the moment, Jonathan?
Well, we're seeing some awesome quali runs. These are some blistering times. 2:02s. Never thought I'd see it in iRacing. Remember the All-Stars? We had tricky. Well, not tricky. We had very cold track editions. Remember a couple of years ago, we had 2:01s, I think, in qualifying as well, set by Kostecki, McLaughlin, all those drivers. Now, I got down to the bottom of why certain drivers were always leading the field. So I teased this to you guys a little bit earlier. But what happens is there's an unofficial practice session before qualifying. So the server's up for about 60 minutes. Whoever joins first gets the first garage. So it doesn't work like the real world. You're not allocated garages. You have to join first to get the closest garage to pit exit, which is why we always see Corey Shepherd first out on his runs for qualifying. Now that's all ruined because he's joined that pack. Remember, they're all battling for the slipstream and all that kind of stuff. But I found out Dane Warren did a nice trick as well. He would join 60 minutes before the session, disconnect, do his own stuff, probably have dinner, maybe some Pizza Hut as well, then join 2 minutes before qualifying. The reason is, well, if he ever has an internet issue and misses the start of qualifying, you can't join the session. So he registers and makes sure he's ready to go, the mind of a 2-time E-Series champion.
Okay, all about preparation.
So, talking of Dane Warren, change of tact here from a tactical point of view. We saw that last session, or that last run, he went out and did his own thing. Given now he has pole position, provisional pole right now, he's just put himself in the pack. A little bit of games going on here.
I'll tell you, the other guy who's missing right now is Jared Filsell. So we haven't seen the best from Phil Sell yet. Not inside the top 5, which means no Brody Kostecki in the top 5 shootout.
He's 5th right now, Chad.
Oh, he's 5th. He's just snuck in. I take that back then. So
But
he would be in, but it's still time.
6 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
knock
I
him
don't
out.
feel like that is going to stay the same.
No.
There's still plenty of potential for the order to get mixed up. So Dane Warren put himself in behind the Pizza Hut car of Brady Myers. Myers currently...
That's doing a bit tonight, the Pizza Hut outfit.
Now, what sort of shirt is that, Chad? Is that
had the
Hawaiian?
Hawaiian last
Cameron
night.
Crick was in the Hawaiian.
For Cam Crick, I'm seeing pineapple on there.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing a lot of pineapple because he's sliding all over the place. It's pretty slippery, that car. So he's bought it out.
Bit of Shane Warnham and
that's
pineapple
right.
on that one, I think. Yeah, and that's Dane Warren's free kick gone.
Yep, there's the toe. So he got a toe up Mountain Straight, but he won't get a toe back down Conrod once he leaves the top of the mountain.
Ooh. Sort of slid down the hill to Frog Hollow for a little bit.
To where?
Frog Hollow. Yep.
Now, I've been going to Bathurst for more than 20 years, Chad, and I've never heard that part of the racetrack
This actually
called Frog Hollow.
This came up in the E-Series about 3 years ago, actually.
Really? It sounds like a Cromptonism.
He would know about it, I guarantee you. But there is something to Google in between the end of this session and the start of the top 5 shootout.
So when I get on the radio when we go back up there in October and say it's a little bit nervous if I drop down into Frog Hollow.
Just see what Andrew
Do you
Edwards
think
says.
that the team are going to know where I'm talking about?
Could you give us a corner number, please? Don't ask what
The
corner number
Great.
it is.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
That's where the frog lives.
In the Great.
In the Great. That's why and it's hollow.
Okay.
Just getting a little bit of limiter there for a moment. Dane Warren at 6th. And he's pulled it up. Didn't get that toe down the straight. 4.5 minutes to go. So he will get one more lap in after this one. Plenty of time to get back around and start another lap. Sits top at the moment with that beautiful 202.1. Can he improve this time by?
Yes, he can.
201.9.
You don't mind. That
Big
opens
lap.
the gap to just over 0.2 of a second over Jordan Caruso.
Did it with half a slipstream.
Yeah.
The Mountain Straight as we go to Corey Shepherd. Tackling the wheel, top right. Working the pedals down the bottom through the dipper. Running the 100 years of Repco on the Mustang. He's running with Tom Sargent tonight, so we welcome Tom Sargent into the E-Series. Tom's off the back of a really successful weekend running in Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge up at Queensland Raceway. We picked up a couple of race wins up there, doing a very nice job in that championship. Fast tracking his way through to a potential Carrera Cup berth next year. So cool to have him joining the fun tonight, Formula Ford champion. Co-driver whips it on through the chase.
So the slipstream looks to be pretty powerful, Chad. The amount of people that were jumping out of the way to not give anyone a slipstream. And now Shepherd, who's actually just towed Cooper Webster around the whole lap, has aborted it for some reason. And he comes to the lane.
He'd be better off escaping because he get to the pit exit a lot quicker that way than losing the time that he's about to lose.
Cooper Webster improved his lap time on that lap. So Mark Shepherd down for the assist on that one. Webster stays 4th but improves his lap time.
It's a good lap. Guy with real-world Bathurst experience. And from what I can see, the only guy inside the top 5 with real-world experience at the mountain. We ran in S5000. And the train of cars cruising around begins. They've got 2.5 minutes to make it to the finish line.
Well, this will be it. This will be it for these guys.
It'll be close.
By the time they'll get around to start their lap, given it's just over 2 minutes and they're already at their way to Frog Hollow, Chad.
That's it. Sits on the right-hand side up here, Gar.
So just a little bit of learning here as we drop down.
I never thought I would teach you something about Bathurst.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm still not sure that you have taught me anything.
I'm telling you, it's a real place.
Okay,
yep.
I'll go look for the signs when we do a track walk up there.
So Warren, Caruso, Gilliam, Webster, and then Phil Sell the 5, followed by all 3 Brad Jones racing cars, and they are the 3 at the end of this session to keep an eye on. They're in this pack right now, and it's going to be big news if Jake Burton, Madison Down miss out on a spot inside the top 5 shootout. 20 cars way down to Jordan Cox, which is unusual. I thought it would have been Job Stewart in this session, driving in the SwiftX colours. Jonathan, this is going to be a mini shootout at the end of this qualifying session.
And it could be for the championship, Chad. Good timing, just as you say, because Jake Burton, he can mathematically wrap up the championship, but it's like a 0.1% chance. We'll talk more about that a little later on. He's competing with his teammate Madison Down. Top 5 go to the shootout, like you said. Jared Filsell also going for the championship. The Frog Hollow chatter is very good, and I love it, but also the championship challenge here is also heating up too.
Excellent. We might cross back to Jonathan later in the night if the race goes stale at any point for a little bit of a history lesson on Frog Hollow.
Frog Hollow, you can do some Wikipedia work for us. So 40 seconds to go. So a little bit of Russian roulette going on here.
Real tight. At what point do you blink here? Now, best case here scenario for Madison Down is he gets to that stripe just before anyone else does.
30 seconds.
And jams them all up.
So no doubt someone's counting down for them in their ear. But if you're at the back of this queue, that's probably where you'd be getting a little bit nervous.
20 seconds to go.
Jake Burton, Madison Down, they're at the front.
And at some point, you're going to have to pick up the throttle to get a good run as well, onto the front straight.
12 seconds to go.
Surely they've left it too long.
Caruso, now they're starting to work it out. Hang on a minute, I'm not going to get to the control line. So the control line is right there. So here we go, let's watch them over the line. There's going to be some that will not make it.
I think
There's
Caruso
some at the back.
Second was definitely to the checkered flag then. I think he's gone.
Yeah.
Some of the names are dipping off.
So was that good luck or good management?
Either way, Caruso's
For the Brad Jones Racing cars, it was good management.
For those who did make it to the control line, they are going to have a pretty good slipstream for the rest of this lap. And they're all tucked in behind Madison Down, who's on a hat-trick tonight as well in the championship. Big win last week at Phillip Island. He just about owns that place and then won the week prior to that up in Michigan.
So Madison Down, 7th. Teammate Jake Burton, who are on board with here, 6th currently in qualifying. They need to get themselves inside the top 5 to give their all-star drivers a shot in the top 5 shootout ahead of tonight's Bathurst Enduro.
The other big thing here, it puts that car out of the top 5, being the Boost Mobile car, and it means that Brody Kostecki's not going to put it on pole.
Yeah.
So if they can get that car out of the top 5 shootout, that'll be a massive free kick tonight.
Right. So Phil Sell is currently in pit lane, can't respond. So it's really up to the Brad Jones Racing too to see if they can knock him out. Because as you said, Chad, Brody Kostecki, with given his form in the All-Star Series, would be pretty close to a lock of a pole, if not a front row start, which makes a massive difference. Although it's an endurance race, just getting to the first corner first, settling into your own rhythm, makes a massive difference, whether it's the real deal or on iRacing.
Green sectors too. So going to be close. 202.354. That's the number to beat. Burton's best is a 3.6, so he's only missed it by
lots of curb for Burton.
a 100th of a second. Has he got what he needs to find those precious tens of thousands of seconds here? It's going to be really tight. Checkered flag is out at the mountain. The Brad Jones Racing cars are hunting down Erebus at the end of the session. Burton down. Can they get inside the top 5 shootout? Yes. Madison Down goes in.
Does. Nice job.
That does his teammate a huge favour, does his own championship charge a big favour as well. Down knocks the third guy in the championship out of the top 5 shootout in Jared Filsell, and also means the championship leader and Jake Burton misses out on the shootout. So that is big. And it's Dane Warren who tops with provisional pole, means Ojeda will be out last. Jordan Caruso's in there as well with Cine, Gilliam and Goodall. That's going to be a cool matchup to watch out for tonight. We saw how quick Goodall was last week. Webster, Walls, Down and Borg. That'll be your top 5. Exciting stuff.
Looking forward to that shootout, Chad. It's going to be a ripper.
All right, let's go racing on the other side of this. The E-Series meets the Mountain.
Sensors are set to extreme for the most important start of the year.
It's the penultimate round of this incredible series, and it's at one of the greatest racetracks in the world.
The Battle of Bathurst ignites again.
Tonight, the pros and the All-Stars team up for a classic Bathurst Enduro.
This is for the lead of the race. It's on.
And what's Bathurst without a shootout?
And that is an armour-all pole for the second time.
Tonight could be crucial in the race for the Pro Series Championship.
Brody on the inside, wow!
Anything can happen when supercars meet Mount Panorama.
Bathurst 1000 winner is Chaz Monster.
This is the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. Yeah, and it is serious business tonight. It is the virtual Great Race, round 5 of the E-Series. Chad Nalon and Garth Tander talking you through what's going to be a big night tonight. We love Bathurst. We love everything about it. Get your virtual echidnas ready, Garth, because this is the big one.
Yep, Mount Panorama can throw anything at you, Chad, wildlife included. So such a fantastic race, and it would be fitting that if we didn't have an iRacing Enduro at Mount Panorama.
Yep. It's been a part of our championship every year that we've had the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. It's an Enduro, so co-drivers, just like we saw at Sandown, and that was an exciting night. It was the Boost Mobile Erebus team that dominated. You get the feeling tonight could be a bit more mixed up.
Yeah, certainly, and we've just completed qualifying ahead of a top 5 shootout, and bit of breaking news that the championship leader for the All-Star Series won't be in the shootout. Brody Kostecki, who would have been pretty much a locked-in as a favourite to put it on pole given his form so far. So he won't be in the top 5 shootout. So already we will see a mixed grid ahead of this endurance race at Mount Panorama.
It is absolutely the coolest track in Australia. It's one of the best racetracks in the world, and you can lose hours on it on iRacing because it is just impossible to get a perfect lap around this place. So with that in mind, Cash Converters course preview. Garth's going to give us his perfect lap right now.
I don't think anyone can ever say they've done a perfect lap around Mount Panorama, iRacing or in real life. So turn 1, second gear. Important to get back to the throttle nice and early for the run up Mountain Straight, because it is exactly that, a run up the mountain, and you can lose so much time off turn 1 as you climb your way up Mountain Straight towards turn 2. So keep to the left as you go over the hump, ahead of the braking zone into turn 2, uphill braking zone so you can get in there nice and late. Second gear these days, grab third quickly on the exit, flow the car out over the curb for the run up to the cutting. Just brush the apex wall, let the car flow out again. A few bumps on entry, second gear here. Hold the car tight to straighten up the exit, over a little hump here, grab third on the exit, and then go up to the tree. There used to be a tree that hung over the track here. It's gone now, but we still call it the tree. Car gets nice and taily as you exit there. The run down into the grate. Fourth gear here, and this is Bathurst personified. Really fast, high commitment, high requirement from the car, high danger. The run over to Skyline. Fourth gear, back to third. Car gets really light, jumps off the ground for a moment. Back to second gear, down through the S's. The car will now drop away from underneath you at the dipper. Grab third gear on the exit. The car gets taily on the change of direction. Stay off the walls as you run it down to Forest Elbow. Back to second gear here. Turn in nice and early. Hug the wall, then let the car flow out for a good run onto Conrod Straight. Up through the gears. This is the only part of the track that you can actually relax a little bit. Just loosen your grip on the steering wheel. As you pull 6th gear, the car gets just short of 300k an hour after this little hump for the run down to the chase. Out nice and wide, maximise the entry, full power through the kink, and then hard on the brakes. Heaviest braking zone in Australian motorsport. Back to second gear, flow the car over the curb, short shift on change of direction, third gear, fourth gear before you go past pit entry, and then the toughest braking zone in Australia. You've done 2 minutes of your best work, don't make a mistake now. Get to the apex. Flow the car out over the curb. Look at the dash. What's the lap time tell you? Hopefully it's good enough for pole.
Yeah, well, we had some times into the 2:01s, believe it or not, in SwiftX qualifying. I mean, if we were seeing 203s in the real world, we'd be pretty excited about that, but 201s in iRacing, that's what we're looking at tonight. So it was very quick in qualifying, and the what would be Arm Roll shootout, but SwiftX Top 5 shootout should be entertaining a bit later. But let's just talk a bit more about this amazing venue. We love going there in October. It's even fun on an August Wednesday night in iRacing mode. Your memories of the mountain. You'll be back again this year in search, Garth, of number 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just when we had colour TV just start, Chad, back in 2000. So first time I'd ever finished the race was that one right there. And I just thought, how easy is this? All you got to do is finish the race and you can win it. And it took 9 years to learn that that's not quite the same. Sharing the car with Will Davison of the HRT car, and then 2 years later with Nick Percat as a rookie on the mountain, and that was a pretty special one to share the car with Nick. He was like a kid on red cordial that afternoon, as you'd expect. First start in the Bathurst 1000 and got a victory. And then sharing the car with Shane when what was the last official Holden-backed car to win at Mount Panorama was pretty special. And all of those wins, I was told after that win with Shane, were with first-time winners. So obviously with Bargs, it was the first time that either of us had won. And then with Davo, his first win. Nick, obviously, as a rookie. And then with Shane, who'd been so close over the journey. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
We didn't see this in 2020 when you won your last race. Crowds at the track. It was a really eerie feeling that year, but looking forward to seeing more of that, more of the crowds back at Mount Panorama and get that proper Bathurst weekend feeling back.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere at Bathurst is so unique, so special, especially around the shootout time. There's so much energy in the place, so much anticipation. And when we won there in 2020, it was no crowds. It was like tumbleweeds blowing up Mountain Straight. So it'd be great to have crowds there. We had smaller crowds back last year. Really looking forward to a big crowd this year. But the atmosphere around shootouts is just awesome.
Yeah, we'll have Sandown in the real world this weekend for the supercars. But tonight it is Bathurst for the Cash Converter Supercars E-Series. SwiftX Top 5 shootout. It's half as good as a Top 10 shootout. That's coming up, so stick with us. Our friends at Shannon's are giving motoring enthusiasts the chance to win the American Dream Team, a 1967 Ford Mustang Coupe in dark Highland green with a V8 engine, and the all-new 2022 Scout Rogue Indian motorcycle. The prize also includes up to 12 months Shannon's comprehensive car and bike insurance and Shannon's roadside assist, plus $5,000 cash if you're an eligible Shannon's Club member. That's up to $101,000 in prizes.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Cash Converters.
Andre Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
Unreal value just got better at Pizza Hut. Pick up our new range from just $3. Enjoy delicious new sides like flame-grilled meatballs.
Hey, Dougie, mate, this is a pickup ad.
From Prix. That's unreal.
Good times, Pizza Hut.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Cash Converters.
SwiftX qualifying, and we're into it with the top 5 shootout. We saw this at Sandown, and now we get to do it all again. And first at bat tonight, and it's a big job for Aaron Borg because he is driving for the man who's second in the championship. They just snuck in the very end of the shootout, and a big opportunity for these guys tonight to make up some ground. If he can put this in the front row with first and third in the points coming off row, I think, 4 tonight, that's going to be a massive advantage.
Yeah, it certainly will be. And Aaron Borg, who'll do the lap here for Madison Down. Madison Down was the man that got the Cub Cadet Commodore into the top 5 shootout. And it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about Madison Down moving over mid-race for Jake Burton to help Jake Burton's championship for the Pro Series. But given how well Madison Down's going at the moment, as you said in qualifying, Chad, he's on a hat-trick at the moment for race wins. If he can win tonight, he'll play himself nicely into championship contention, but all that will rest on Aaron Borg's shoulders right here, right now for this shootout lap as he prepares to come to start the shootout lap. So making his way down Conrod Straight. Don't need to warm the tyre as much as you do in real life in iRacing, so not using any energy from the tyre here, wanting to maximise all the energy that the tyre has when he actually starts the push lap. Right here, right now, if you're doing a real shootout at Bathurst in October, you'd be working your backside off to get the front tyre temperature up so that you've got confidence in the front of the car when you come to start the lap. Starting to build up speed now is Borg. He'll come to the line to be the first in our top 5 shootout.
He has had a really strong junior career, never made it to the upper echelons of supercars racing, but has shown throughout his career that he's got talent in everything that he drives, whether it be within the Super Utes or the 86 series, which he's won. And a cool opportunity to be a part of Brad Jones Racing this week, as he has been throughout the All-Stars Championship. At 31 years of age from Sydney, he's the oldest in the shootout. We've got 3 teenagers in the shootout tonight, and a lot of young kids who are getting their opportunity to do a shootout lap live on TV, which is pretty cool. So Aaron Borg, definitely the most experienced out there with Jaden Ojeda, who's going to be up soon in the Walkinshaw colours. He'll be last car out tonight. As Borg gets it started in the Cub Cadet car, driving with Madison Down, sitting second in the championship for Brad Jones Racing.
Looking pretty neat so far, this lap from Borg, putting the car in all the right spots, using all the circuit here as he flows the car onto the top of the mountain. About to drop down into what we call the grate. Oh, nicely done. Now flow the car out to the wall of the run to McPhillamy. Car gets nice and light there. Just clips the curve of the apex. Nicely done. Use all the road on exit. Send the car over Skyline down through the S's. Back to second gear. Nice lap so far from Borg. Really neat. Bit of pressure on these guys. Don't forget, all the Pro Series drivers went and set the lap time to put them into the shootout. Now, the responsibility for the actual starting position within the top 5 relies on our all-star drivers. So they're not coming in totally cold. They would have been warming up in the background while qualifying was on.
Bathurst is usually a pretty special week for Aaron Borg. Not only does he go pretty handy at Bathurst, he's picked up race wins there in the past, but this year he'll be turning 32 on Bathurst Thursday. So it's also birthday week for Aaron up at the mountain. And the first week of October, always a special one for him. In the Brad Jones Racing colours tonight, what's he got planned? Can he lay down a good lap time? Really hard to know what the form guide is going to be. We did see 201s earlier tonight for the pros, and the first of the All-Stars in the top 5 shootout lays down a 205.2, which would be a pretty handy real-world lap time. And I wonder how Aaron's feeling about that one off the back of a clean 205.2. Need to be very careful, because if you even so much as graze a wall, you can have your time eliminated. So going to be very careful, different to the real world rules that we have in supercars. And that's the new time to beat, 205.2. You reckon that's going to survive?
Well, it's hard to, as you said, Chad, it's hard to know without a reference. I'm just looking at the weather conditions that we have set for the shootout. And the
Track's
track
gone
temperature is 44.5 degrees, so that's considerably higher than
It's
what
31, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that would account for a lot of the lap time difference that we saw from qualifying going into the shootout here. So it's hard to know whether a 5.2 that Aaron Borg has laid down is going to be good enough. Jackson Walls now for Team 18 coming to start his lap. Jackson, very accomplished Carrera Cup Australia Porsche racer. He's done a lap or two around the mountain in real life. Now what's he got for us in the iRacing Top 5 shootout?
5 drivers tonight inside this top 5 shootout are from 5 completely different series. We've got a Super Utes driver who's already been on track, Jackson Walls, up now Carrera Cup. Ruben Goodall's coming up tonight. He's in the 86s. Jaden O'Jader's had a couple of supercar starts. And Geordie Sinney, who's going to be the 5th of our drivers tonight, Formula Ford. So pretty cool range of drivers as we check out Jackson working his way up through turn 2.
Just missed the apex at 2, a little bit wide on entry. So it killed a little bit of momentum that he had built for the run up to the cutting, to low power cutting. A little bit taily coming off there as well. So this lap, a little bit more ragged, you'd call it, than what we saw from Aaron Borg. Runs it out nice and wide to the wall at the grate. And then at the exit of Reed Park and the entry to McPhillamy, a little bit narrow on entry.
He's been a 10th down through the first sector, 2 tenths down through the second sector. This will get weird here because there's more sectors than we used to see in the real world, but 2 tenths down into the third sector. It's 6 sectors, so it's sort of, I guess, halfway between the micro sectors that the engineers will be looking at just to get the rear of this car dancing on the downshift back down to second gear. And the 3 sectors that we'd be used to seeing. It's one of those don't ask why scenarios, I think, as to why we've got 6 sectors around.
I think Bathurst deserves 6 sectors, given it's 6 kilometres.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're at a real racetrack, at a real qualifying session, you're only using the 3 sectors.
Through the chase, on the brakes, back down to second gear. 19-year-old from Sydney keeps a photo of Jennifer Aniston on his phone for good luck. It's one of the
Is that what he says? Is that what it's for? Is that what it's for?
One of the stranger.
Is that what it's for?
He said he got rid of it once and he crashed a jet ski, so it was going straight back on the phone. Can he go quicker than a 2:05.2? Jackson Walls tonight. It's a 2:07.0.
So we need to update that photo.
It's a newer photo, I'd say. He's got a pretty cool setup with that Fanatec wheel. And he has gone to second spot in behind Aaron Borg. The things you learn about these drivers, Gar.
It's not something I would have thought I would have learnt tonight, Chad.
2 things you've learned tonight as we check out car number 34. And this guy was a bit of a revelation last week.
Wasn't he just?
Ruben Goodall.
Turned up as a bit of an unknown Toyota 86 racer and then just spent the whole night absolutely giving it to Brody Kostecki. Ended up with a 3rd at Phillip Island and did a very nice job. So what's he got for us around Mount Panorama?
Can also double as Todd Hazelwood's stunt double, which is handy.
Younger stunt double.
Yeah, in case Todd ends up in any action movies anytime soon. As Ruben starts off the lap, he was great form last week. Just couldn't quite get the job done. Led for a little bit at Phillip Island. Went toe-to-toe with Brody Kostecki. How does he go around the mountain? I've been on iRacing a little bit this week, popping in and out of the hosted sessions and seeing who was online, and saw quite a few of the drivers having their own hosted practice sessions, staying up late, getting the laps done.
I knew were there purely for research purposes.
Exactly.
For you, Chad.
At least that's what I told my fiance.
It's work, honestly.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm working.
I was nowhere near the numbers that these guys were able to pull out. I'd be stoked with a 2:07 as we get up through the cutting.
Nice and tight on the wall at the cutting. That's the quick way through there. Scrape the mirror on the inside wall. It's the fastest way through the cutting. Oh, a little bit over-committed on entry at the tree there. And delayed the throttle pickup.
We had to see Ruben IRL this weekend. He's racing in the Toyota 86s. He sits 25th in points at the moment. Had a bit of a lucky run in the championship. He's not 25th on speed. So it'd be cool to see him bounce back at Sandown. Oh, he's going full send down Skyline. It's the McLaughlin line over the curb.
Pretty much line ball to the end of the 3rd sector here, and then just completed the 4th sector. Pulled 2 tenths on Aaron Borg in that 4th sector, so a little bit up on the lap time that Aaron Borg has done to this point is Ruben Goodall, and it was that full send over the Skyline down through the S's It worked very nicely for him. 0.2 of a second just there. Even sound cool on iRacing, don't they?
Yeah, he's got himself another 0.2 as well when that thing was singing through the chase. So he's 0.4 up on this lap at the moment, which would dip him into the 4s.
So need to be nice and neat and tidy to finish this lap off. It's been a good one so far for Ruben Goodall. How do we go? Out of the final corner, nicely up over the curb, over the control line. Look at the dash, what have we got? Good enough to go fastest, just. 2:05.21 plays Aaron Borg's 2:05.28. 7/100ths of a second.
Okay, so very tight at the top of the times. 0.07 as we get into our 4th driver. Jordan Sinney getting ready to go. Late call up as Jake Kostecki was having some internet issues tonight. Hasn't paid the bill. So that means that Jordan gets the call up, which is pretty cool for him. And away he goes. Trying to understand the significance of car 440 tonight for what is typically car 6 in our championship. Is that a special Tickford number or something hidden away from the past?
I don't think so. It's the first we've seen of Jordy Sinney in the E-Series, so...
Yeah, not the first we've seen on the broadcast this year. He's at Winton racing Formula Ford. We got a chance to call him that weekend, which is pretty cool. He's running inside the top 5. That's his usual haunt, is the Formula Ford world. Oh, he's just got that.
A little bit wide at 2. You could just hear the engine note down a little bit late back to the throttle.
Racing out of Wantirna South tonight. That's pretty close to Sandown this weekend. Just about ride his push bike all the way to the track if he wanted to this week.
Yeah, to hear the cars in Wantirna South.
Oh, that's tight. Henry Park. Absolutely on it. Across the top of the mountain, had to lift.
You don't want to touch that curb at the apex.
10th down to the first sector. Lost another 4/10 in sector 2. Lost another 2/10 in sector 3. And unfortunately, losing a little bit more time as this lap goes on. Can he pull some back towards the end? Jordan Caruso, by the way, did a really nice job putting this car 3rd in the additional qualifying session that happened earlier tonight for SwiftX, if you caught that on the live stream. Back down Conrad for the 19-year-old. Also had a chance to drive a supercar for real at Winton as part of an Erebus Academy Day, which is pretty cool to see. The Who's Next campaign that they've been running there. So one of a few young drivers to drive Erebus cars that day, including Zach Bates, who's been running in the Toyota 86s. Callum Hedge, who's been a round winner this year, and Jordy Sinney, which is pretty cool to see. One of 5 young guys getting a chance to drive the Barry Ryan's team that day as he finishes the lap off. And Jordy goes up to 3rd with a 2:06.0.
Nice recovery in the last part of the lap there for Sinney.
Yeah, great last sector.
Yeah.
And that was nicely done.
Yeah. The man they call the Juice.
Here he comes. It's out from Western Sydney, James Courtney World, Penrith, New South Wales. He's 23 years of age, 2 supercars starts this season. And very fast young driver, set the wins record for Formula 4. He was untouchable in his season of Formula 4 racing. Very quick in Super 3, quick in Super 2, race winner there as well. He's had wildcard starts at the Mountain, switching it up to be a co-driver this year. And away he goes, Jaden Ojeda in the Walkinshaw colours tonight. And he was unlucky at Sandown. He had a pretty good qualifying lap, but got taken out in the opening lap of that race.
Didn't get a great launch at Sandown, so that's what sort of put him back in the pack. So Ojeda, with it all to do in this one, it was his teammate Dane Warren that put him on provisional pole. Now Jaden Ojeda needs to deliver in this shootout lap. So great experience. Well, it's iRacing and it's the E-Series. It's still the same level of pressure, same level of commitment required to execute it to perfection. Get it right when it counts. And that's what these shootouts are all about.
How about this for a twist of fate, Gar? He now has to displace Ruben Goodall, who drives at Mattstone Racing. That's where Jaden's going to be for real.
It's his real car.
Yeah. And he's trying to displace the Todd Hazelwood look-alike, and that is exactly who he's going to be racing with.
Real teammate.
In October. So this is all quite intricately placed at the moment as Juice rolls it down the hill.
It's very close to between the two of them at the moment.
That awesome first sector has helped
a
quite a
really
lot.
strong first sector. Just a little bit gone away now in the fourth sector. So
Ruben was that good down Skyline.
he was very quick.
Can he pull something back there? Good exit. And some speed on Conrad would help. The all-important fifth sector still to come to give us a bit more of an idea. I thought I'd say that at Bathurst.
Unique. See what we've got in the fifth sector ahead of the sixth sector at Mount Panorama.
Oh, it's good. It's purple.
So
it's really good. He might be on here. Oh, no, he's thrown it away at the chase. Right
Chad
on cue.
Nalon strikes again.
That couldn't have been any more perfectly timed. And I'm calling conspiracy here because he's actually driving for Matt Stone Racing, see, at Bathurst.
Chad, I'm going to text Jaden later and tell him it was you that put the commentator curse on him.
I need to blame it on something or someone because that was about as open and shut case of commentator's curse as I've ever seen. And he will go to last with that. What a way to finish the shootout. It was on, it was all there. And Todd Hazelwood Jr. can smile about it because he's picked up his first SwiftX Pole Award.
Not bad, not bad.
How good is that?
He's turned up last week, put it on the podium, come back the second week, put it on pole at Bathurst. Not a bad way to come into the E-Series, is it?
He's a hired gun right now. Well done to Ruben Goodall. And Matt Stone Racing will be starting the virtual great race from the pole. And he and Andrew Gilliam are going to be a pretty handy matchup tonight.
That's right. Gilliam's very strong. He's been a top 3 runner in the Pro Series for the majority of the season. And Goodall has proven already in the short time he's spent with us that he's very fast and can get the job done. So nice lap by Goodall. Got it over just over 7/100ths over Aaron Borg, who was the first car out. So he's moved up nicely to put himself on the front row. But it'll be Ruben Goodall, our SwiftX Pole Award winner. Nice job.
All right, so congratulations to him. He'll be on the pole tonight. Well, BP, the official fuel supplier for the Repco Supercars Championship, are giving fans the ultimate chance to win a weekend away for the Boost Mobile Gold Coast 500. You've got to scan that QR code. It's worth up to $4,000 worth of prizes, VIP tickets, 3 nights of com, return flights, hot laps in the safety car. It's absolutely an awesome prize. So scan the QR code and you can be in the draw for that one. All right, the big one, Bathurst, the virtual great race. Stick with us tonight on the E-Series.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
A lot of history hidden in this place. Bit of elbow grease, splash of racing. Eleanor, and 100 years later you've got this. A place driven by passion. Some people call us car nuts, rev heads. Reckon we've got 10W30 running through our veins. But the truth is, everyone at Repco has an unexplainable bond with motoring. The journey's been a ride, from navigating open roads to wrangling uncharted tracks. For 100 years, we've been driven by passion. What happens in the future? Well, you'll have to wait and see.
Unreal value just got better at Pizza Hut. Pick up our new range from just $3. Enjoy delicious new sides like flame-grilled meatballs.
Hey, Dougie, mate, this is a pickup ad.
From $3. That's unreal.
Good times, Pizza Hut.
Andre Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones Racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
Great to have your company tonight for night number 5, Cash Converters Supercars E-Series. We've had SwiftX qualifying plus the top 5 shootout tonight. Went down to the wire, and it's Matt Stone Racing who are going to start tonight on the pole. So a great chance to check in with our pole sitter tonight on a Shaw live chat, see how he's feeling. He was awesome last week, and he's done the job tonight. Ruben Goodall, congratulations. How are you feeling right now as you get to start tonight on the very best position on the grid?
Yeah, thanks, Chad. Obviously pretty nervous tonight to be starting on pole. Obviously very close between me and Borgie there. We've been messaging each other back and forth all week, messaging our times, and they've been very close. So I knew as soon as I saw it was us 2 in the shootout, or obviously us 5, I knew it would be close between me and Aaron. But yeah, as you said, on the best spot on the grid, just hopefully hand the car over to Andrew. Nice for him to finish off the race strong.
So the plan is definitely, you reckon we'll be seeing all the pros, or all the all-star drivers starting this one?
Yeah, look, we're going to chuck me in for the start. So hopefully, as I said, I can just bring it home clean to the pit stop. And yeah, hopefully there's not too many pros coming through the field behind us because they are quite a bit quicker at the moment. But yeah, obviously going to have a crack myself, keep it off the walls and should be right.
Mate, you mentioned nerves a little bit in that first answer, but from what I can see, you turned up last weekend, you gave it to Brodie Kostecki all race at Phillip Island, and you just stuck it on the pole at Bathurst. Doesn't look like you're driving with any nerves.
Nah, Garth, look, into the last corner of Bathurst, my foot was jumping on the accelerator a little bit. I had the leg shakes going on, but look, yeah, as you said, kept it together and had quite a strong race at Phillip Island last week. So yeah, hope to have something strong this week as well.
Nice, mate. Well done. First ever live TV interview?
Yeah, probably, to be honest. So yeah, thanks for that experience, guys.
Well played. Tick that box. Did a good job.
We're going to give you a big double tick, mate. Good job tonight. Best of luck.
Awesome. No worries, guys. See ya.
That's good. Drives fast, speaks well, Garth. You got to love it.
Yeah, that's the full package, Chad.
All right, we need another break here, but on the way out, I'm going to quickly tell you that our friends at SwiftX are helping us to celebrate the Bathurst Enduro tonight. So here's a chance for you to win $20 worth of Bitcoin across the night. All you're going to do is simply scan the QR code, and you can redeem that right now. So thank you to our good friends at SwiftX for that one. Stick with us. How's the kid going to go on the pole? I'm going to find out very soon. Our friends at Shannon's are giving motoring enthusiasts the chance to win the American Dream Team, a 1967 Ford Mustang Coupe in dark Highland green with a V8 engine, and the all-new 2022 Scout Rogue Indian motorcycle. The prize also includes up to 12 months Shannon's comprehensive car and bike insurance and Shannon's roadside assist, plus $5,000 cash if you're an eligible Shannon's Club member. That's up to $101,000 in prizes.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Shure. Sound extraordinary on and off the track.
7 Supercars coverage is brought to you by BP Ultimate. Imagine being trackside on the Gold Coast watching the Supercars roar. Just snap the QR code to enter and you could win the ultimate supercars experience. You and a friend could be flown to the Gold Coast 500 to enjoy all the action, including accommodation and VIP treatment. BP Rewards members also get 10 bonus entries. So sign up for your best chance to win the ultimate supercars experience.
Heimgartner on screen here in the R&J Batteries Brad Jones racing entry.
Hold on, where's the pit crew? What's he stumbled upon here? Ah, looks like the boys are having a bit of fun with their new toy. Get a gaming super bargain at Cash Converters. Click and collect or shop online with a 90-day warranty on most items. Cash Converters, life made possible.
7 Supercars coverage is brought to you by BP Ultimate. Imagine being trackside on the Gold Coast watching the Supercars roar. Just snap the QR code to enter and you could win the ultimate supercars experience. You and a friend could be flown to the Gold Coast 500 to enjoy all the action, including accommodation and VIP treatment. BP Rewards members also get 10 bonus entries. So sign up for your best chance to win the ultimate supercars experience.
The Cash Converters Supercars E-Series is proudly brought to you by Pioneer DJ. Join the revolution.
It's got history, it's got everything that you love about a racetrack. It is Mount Panorama, and that's the location where we will go racing tonight. Enduro mode, co-drivers in action. It's the All-Stars sharing with the pros. Second last round of the championship, and the championship in the pro battle right now is absolutely on, so lots to watch out for. And the championship leader is coming outside the top 5 tonight, so lots to look forward to. And we've also got a bit of strategy to think about tonight. So we're going to welcome in Jonathan Simon right now for our Shannon's Race Facts. Jonathan, lots to consider tonight.
A lot to consider, like you say, Chad, and it's a place we all know like the back of our hands, but why not go through the Shannon's Insurance Race Facts to give you all the numbers, because it's not the real world Bathurst 1000. Tonight, it's the Bathurst 136. Yes, 22 laps of racing action for the E-Series, the most beloved race on the E-Series calendar, let alone the real world. Very exciting stuff, because yet again, at the click of a button, we get to change drivers virtually. Supercars are thirsty this round. Look at the fuel. Almost a full tank of fuel required to make it to the checkered flag. A lot of hot spots as well, around 23 of the most challenging, gut-wrenching corners in Australian motorsport folklore. A lot of elevation change from Murray's, the lowest point, past Frog Hollow, all the way to the top of the mountain at Solomon Park. 150 points split between your winners. Actually, it's 300 split 150 for each of your winners. Now, the pit window is intriguing because not only does the All-Star need to complete a minimum of 9 laps in today's race, but a new rule introduced. The Pro Series driver needs to complete a minimum of 6 laps to make it to the checkered flag. Hopefully it's an earth-shattering race like we had last year, Chad, in the E-Series. Remember that? The earthquake that Melbourne had in 2022.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great finish too as well.
That's right. It was too. I forgot completely about that. We were sneaking earthquake puns in all night, actually, into the commentary. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Yeah, it's going to be an earth-rumbling affair tonight once again. It was actually really exciting last time out Mount Panorama. Went all the way to the wire, as it always seems to do. So let's check out how they're going to be lining up on the truck assist grid. And well done to Ruben Goodall, Matt Stone Racing on the pole tonight, sharing with Andrew Gilliam and Aaron Borg. Madison down second in the championship, second on the grid. Cini and Caruso out of 3 alongside Walls and Webster. Team 18 doing a nice job inside the top 5. Ojeda, unfortunately, with an issue on his quali lap. Watch out for the favourites coming out of 6. They were untouchable at Sandown. They won this race last year. Championship leaders coming out of 7th. Jake Burton with some work to do. The Cool Drive guys have been quick all year long. New name to watch out for tonight. The Boyd car might be quick. That's Jack and Jake driving those 2 cars tonight. Jordan Boys is on that row as well. Tom Sargent gets his first start tonight with Corey Shepherd. The Pizza Hut delivery boys, Cameron Crick and Brady Myers, are coming out of 12th. We go back to Cox and Stewart in the SwiftX colours. Maxwell and Gardner driving for Grove Racing tonight. James Golding was quick in practice earlier. He's with Emily Jones, Clay Richards and Luke Rosella are repping the Shannon's Insurance colours tonight. Matt McLean and Rick Kuznetsov in the Shaw colours will be starting this one alongside Rougier and Hobson. Rougier is very fast, so should be moving forward from 18th at the start of this race. Randall and Burke out the back, 19-car grid, ready to go at Mount Panorama. Very cool to have Tom Randall back again in the series. We've missed him over the last couple of weeks, fresh off the plane from England, as we get set now for the virtual great race. A highlight on the calendar, racing at Mount Panorama. Championship picture is well and truly alive with just 2 races to go and a great start from the truck assist team of Ruben Goodall, who was so quick last time out, has got a great start, and championship leader off the road in the background, or at least his co-driver off the road for a moment. Cooper Murray doing a nice job to try and catch that, but they're on the back foot early.
Yeah, so that's the drama when you're starting deeper in the field, that you can get caught up with issues at turn 1. But Ruben Goodall, we had a chat to him after qualifying. He said he was a little bit nervous. There was no nerves in that start. Absolutely nailed it off the line and the run to turn 1. And that's exactly what you want. You want to be leading when you get to this point right here, because no one's going to pass you across the top of the mountain, so you can relax a little bit. You can just settle into your own rhythm, try and open the gap, and he's doing a beautiful job with that right now. The gap already out to 7/10 of a second for the first time across the top of the mountain. And Brody Kostecki was up the inside. We saw him do that last year in the 1000 to Cam Waters. He just did the exact same trick, dropping down into the grate to Jordan Wallace. That was incredible. So Kostecki, who's come from 6th, already up to 3rd.
And if you think that looks like a slightly different view for Brody Kostecki tonight, you would be right. He's racing at the Members Night tonight live in Dandenong South at the headquarters for Erebus. So he's got a live studio audience cheering him on. And how about this for aggression at the elbow to the inside? That's 3rd passing 2nd in the championship for the pros, as the championship leader in the All-Stars is on a hunt tonight, and he's going after Ruben Goodall for round 2, because they were kicking it off last week at the Island.
Ruben Goodall has had to open a gap up here because Brody Kostecki has got the eyes on tonight.
Oh. Here we go. This could be crazy. Cini and Webster, Open Wheel Stars, Formula Ford and S5000. They go at it down at the chase. Brad Vaughan, Super 3 driver, coming on through. They're going to touch.
It's going to be
that's massive. That's the biggest crash of the series so far, as Cini goes upside down back into the field. Just gets missed by Matt McLean. That was a monster. Went in right where Aaron Seaton went in Dunlop Series qualifying last year, but thankfully Seaton's car didn't get quite as airborne as that one.
As bad as that. So
that was huge.
Cini will go straight to the lane. Big damage to that car. That'll need a repair. So Goodall, he's got the lead. There's a bit going on in the background. We just saw it out of shot. So here is a replay of Cini and Brad Vaughan. So Vaughan tries to get around the outside, and then Cini comes to take that bit of real estate. Vaughan's already there and spits him hard into the inside wall. Those that are watching at the hotel on the exit of the chase would have had a good view of that one.
I get the feeling the dodgy internet just flashing on and off.
Here we go. And then this is what we saw just out of shot.
Clay Richards.
Clay Richards and Cameron Crick making heavy contact at the exit of turn 1.
We've had a Tough old run has Clay. Looking forward to seeing him back in the 86s after he won a race recently at Townsville. Ruben Good will be looking in the mirrors and going, where on earth did Brody Kostecki come from?
That guy start sixth a lap and a half ago.
How did he get there?
How's he here already?
He's not even on his usual sim tonight, Brody Kostecki. He's on a bit of a hired setup tonight at Erebus. And I feel like the live studio audience is pushing him on tonight.
Potentially. Members function at Boost Mobile Erebus Racing in Melbourne tonight, ahead of Sandown this weekend, and Brody Kostecki's putting on a show.
Timing is showing Jackson Suzlin Harlow starting and up 6 spots. So that's a clever ploy, Brad Jones Racing, as they often do, rolling the dice on a different strategy. They've started their pro as the race is on at the front of the field and further back as well. This looks like it's going to end in tears. Suzlin Harlow right in the middle of it, just as we're talking about him. And he was properly sideways. He's passed all those cars practically in one hit. That was a nice move.
Smart move. Get out of all this because there's plenty going on here.
They're queuing up at the moment. They're all in behind Jack Boyd, who's joining us for the first time tonight. Eagle eyes view down on the racetrack for this one as Vaughan goes side by side with Webster. Ojeda, and he's in there right now with, that'll be the other Cooper in the field, Cooper Murray, as the two Coopers nearly run into each other down here. Actually, it'll be Jackson Walls in the Irwin car tonight. And this is all really big for the championship leader. Spirit thought for Jake Burton watching that car right now, just hoping it escapes.
Yeah, that's right.
Without getting completely fenced amongst the chaos. It's really tight down here at turn 2. Timing showing a change for the lead as well, as Brody Kostecki has got to the front of the pack. Ruben Goodall, run and try as he might, has fallen back to second. And this is an awesome fight. The other guy who's flying at the moment is Golding.
Yeah, so I saw him at the back of this pack, just scanning the timing screen to see where he's come from. He's up 6 spots as well. So Brody Kostecki up 5. Jackson Suzlin Harlow up 6, currently running 4th. James Golding up 6, currently running 9th. So they're your big movers so far. Justin Rougier is 11th in that cash converters car. He's up 7 spots. So some big movers in the first 2.5 laps of this one.
Cooper Murray doing a really nice job here, sitting 7th, which is where they started, just blocking the left front.
He was pretty quick coming down the rock face into Forest Elbow. I can see the rear of the car moving.
I need to stop complimenting people tonight. That's my last one, all right? I'm just going to say really negative things about people from now on.
Well, let's not say anything right now, Chad. Let's pick up our sure sounds of the game.
Perfectly timed. That's the view from over the shoulder, right in the middle of this fight. Cooper Murray doing a nice job for the championship leader. Can he keep doing it and bring that car home to Jake Burton in a good spot to finish somewhere in the top 5? Keep that championship lead healthy with 1 round to go. That is the goal. Walls was just a little bit slow coming out of the cutting. And as a result, he's under pressure here from James Golding. Golding, who drove for Team 18 in the Enduros, has got a really nice run up through the grate. Jackson Suzlin Harlow, fastest lap of the race. The only pro driver out there as Brad Jones Racing play a different game to the rest of the pack for now. They sit 3rd, 4th and 7th in this race. They've won the last 2 races.
Oh, Walls. We saw that car was taily in his shootout lap. They haven't tuned it up for the race, Chad.
No.
It's looking pretty taily. Oh, Golding's found himself in the wrong spot there, coming out of Forest Elbow.
All right, Jonathan, we're not too far away from potential pit stops.
Potentially. I would only say Jackson Suslin-Harlow could come in, but you want to keep him in the car as much as you can because he's very quick at the moment compared to the All-Stars. Some updates on incidents. So on the opening lap, you might have seen the Repco car drop down the order. That's because he had to readdress the position of the Pizza Hut car due to contact on the opening lap. As we see somebody off into the wall, Chad, you want to call that quickly?
That was Jackson Walls. Yep. And he's trying to get himself back on track right now in the Irwin car. Go again, Jono.
Yeah, and so just one more thing. So the incident, you might have seen that monster crash like he described it with the, that was Jordan City. So he's replaced somebody with bad internet. That was Jake Kostecki. And then he's had bad internet, and so they deemed that a racing incident due to netcode.
Yeah, that'll do it. So maybe he's just racing at Jake's house. It's not going to help the scenario.
What are they doing at Tickford? Get better internet.
Vaughan with a nice move to the inside.
Yeah,
oh,
nice.
boy.
Nice move.
That's good because they've both been flying up through the field right now. Brad Vaughan's doing a pretty good job this year.
Yeah, I was just say both the Cool Drive cars and both the Cool Drive drivers have done a great job this year. They sort of haven't really had the real highlights reel, if you like, but they've always been there, always been in the game. And Brad Vaughan getting the job done on Boyd there. Nice job at turn 2.
One of many drivers we're looking forward to seeing racing this weekend at Sandown. For him, it's a battle in Super 3. Big field of Super 3 cars, biggest field since 2019 Sandown, so 3 years. 16 cars joining the 19 in Super 2 to make it a 35-car grid for the Dunlop Series this week. Looking forward to that.
Brad Vaughan's been one of the Super 3 competitors that managed to get himself well amongst the Super 2 competitors as well, so he'll be licking his lips at that thought, thinking how many of those Super 2 cars can I pick off in my Super 3 car.
There's been a really interesting subtext to the championship fight in the Dunlop Series this year. Toyota 86 Series on the bill this weekend as well, where we'll see Ruben Goodall. Jackson Walls on track right now, who'll be racing Carrera Cup this weekend at Sandown. And then plenty of supercar stars in this race, including your race leader at the moment at a track that he loves. Picked up his first podium there last year. As the fight is on, this is really tight stuff. Cooper Murray, how aggressive will he play that? He won at Mount Panorama in Carrera Cup on Bathurst Sunday last year. Knows this place pretty well.
He's going to win a race in one of the support categories. Bathurst Sunday morning's the time to do it. Cooper Murray was super fast up there last year in Carrera Cup. Not doing any full-time circuit racing this year.
No, I did see
it's
it.
a shame because he's a really good young talent.
Saw a photo of him riding shotgun today with Brody Kostecki out at Sandown Raceway, doing some laps in their ride day car. As Harlow moves up to second, so great move from Jackson Suslin-Harlow. Textbook move under brakes.
So really, in the 96 car, they need to run Suslin-Harlow as far into the race as they can. Just maximise this opening window.
Yep.
Maximise the time that he spends in the car because they're making hay at the moment. Last thing they need is a safety car in the last part of the race.
Yeah, so for him, he's driving a lap 13. So the minimum laps for an all-star is 9. And he'll be handing that car over to Jordan Boys tonight.
Been a good drive so far from Suslin-Harlow. He's had a shocking season so far in the E-Series, but now starting to really show us what he's capable of. He's taking time out of our leader at the moment, Brody Kostecki, who effectively is a pro. Like, when it comes to iRacing, he's classified as an all-star, but his speed is comparable to our Pro Series drivers.
Safe to say they'll be hoping tonight goes safety car 3 at Brad Jones Racing, because Jordan Boys wouldn't want to be stuck at a restart out there with all the pro drivers. And again, tuning in live at the Boost Mobile Erebus Members Day. I went to their open day on Sunday, and lots of fans at Erebus for that one. That was really cool to see. A lot of people there to meet Greg Murphy, of course.
Oh, I just thought they heard you were going, Chad, so that's why the fans turned up.
That thinned the numbers out a little bit. There were fans waiting outside the gate at Erebus from about 9 a.m. It was freezing cold here for something different in Melbourne on Sunday, and they were waiting outside for 2 hours to come and catch a glimpse of Murph's new Boost mobile car. For the mountain, looks pretty cool, by the way. Did a great job with that livery. And Greg was testing that car yesterday with Richie Stanaway at Winton. The fight is still on here. It's Cooper Murray.
You can see, actually, that Murray is sort of just holding back a little bit here. Like, I think he could probably send it up the inside, but he's very mindful of Jake Burton's championship and where he sits right now.
Okay, we're about 2 laps away from that pit stop window opening, Jonathan.
And critically, this is big news. Our 2-time champion, Dane Warren, his teammate Jaden Ojeda, I think he's had internet troubles. That car is currently out of the race. It's no longer in Bathurst, and that will mean going into the final round, Dane Warren will not defend his title. He will be out of contention for points at Oran Park in a week's time.
Oh, man, that sums up what's been a really rough year for them. I mean, they won the opening round, and from there it just nosedived hard. That's a sad way to see them go out. It's sort of like a mechanical DNF in the real world, that one.
That's the equivalent of the $2 part on the race car, isn't it? Your internet dropping out. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
The best one was Gary Jacobson in the 2020 All-Stars.
Yeah, that was, I remember that one. Wasn't it? The kettle tripped out
like
the power
kettle
board.
in, and power to the house went out.
The whole of Shepparton went down.
And he was on for a race result. I think he might have been winning or something crazy like that. Waited all year to be in a chance like that, and Mum wanted a cup of tea.
Cup of tea. Took his chance from it.
Anything can happen at Bathurst, they say.
Right. It's got interesting and quirky ways of taking you out of the race. You know, the kettle to taking you out of a race at Bathurst, though.
Internet DNF.
That's right. When it comes up on the list at the end of the race, what the DNF was for: engine failure, driveline failure, internet failure.
So he's through. Cooper Murray moving up this field. And there is the stricken car 2.
Just waiting for dial-up to kick in. 256k modem.
You reckon the mechanical sound of an engine letting go is bad? The dial-up internet sound is the only thing worse.
Just currently faxing the internet provider right now to see if they can get it fixed.
It's a shame for Dane Warren. Not his year, and for the first time in E-Series history, it's not going to be Walkinshaw and Ready United who take the championship. It's now between Brad Jones Racing and Erebus. And 2 cars in that BGR fight, one of them in this battle right now. Oh, hello. Jack Boyd could be the real spoiler here today.
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about Jake Burton's championship.
Nope.
There's Boyd. Got a good run off turn 2 there. Bit of a sniff up the inside for the run to the cutting. I think there was a bit more of a sniff there to try and jam it up the inside after the kink prior to the cutting proper. So I actually thought that potentially Cooper Murray, once he got past Boyd, would be able to open that gap, but that's certainly not looking the case right now.
Burton will be sitting in his sim right now, just waiting to be tagged in. Just one more lap.
Just send me in, coach. Just send me
Get
in.
me off the bench. I'm ready. That 9-lap minimum. Desperate to get there and get the championship leader back in this fight as Jared Filsell drives away from the field, and 4th place, who's 2nd in the championship, is further up the road again. Where will Jake Burton recover to tonight? Kicking himself that he couldn't have got it inside the top 5 shootout. Put him on the back foot straight away. And what has been a really consistent run for him in the championship so far. They've got some work to do tonight. And it's one race and worth 150 points to his championship.
Yeah, that's the big championship implication, is that for each of the All-Stars or the pros, they're racing for effectively their own 150 points. So,
oh, that was tight. Tom Sargent had a real look to the inside down there on Jordan Cox in the SwiftX car.
The stamp was on and it was sent, that one.
Real crack. Here it is again, coming in hot. Had all 4 of them.
Locked the rears. I reckon he was back to first gear doing everything he could. Toes were crossed, eyes were closed, hoping that he'd get it stopped before the apex at Forest Elbow.
Matt McLean, looking forward to having him back in the Dunlop Series. Missed him up at Townsville. He's rolling with a guy who will be going toe-to-toe with this weekend at Sandown in Tommy Maxwell. Tom's just with a small lock-up down there through turn 1. Remember to scan that QR code if you want to claim your $20 worth of free Bitcoin right now, thanks to SwiftX. He's working his way blissfully in the lead of this race. And working lap 9, so we're in the pit stop window for those who want to come in and hand it over.
You can extend it here if you're Brody Kostecki, because you know that Suzlin Harlow's not going to pit straight away. They're going to extend the window all the way to the other end of the pit window. So you're not going to get undercut from the car in 2nd. So effectively you're racing the car in 3rd with Goodall and Gilliam, and that gap's near on just over 5 seconds, 1st to 3rd. So you can basically react once they pit just to see how long, what their pace is like on fresh tyre. As Andrew Gilliam takes over the 34 Commodore.
Well, how's the form right now from Kostecki? His best is a 2:05.0. His last was a 2:05.1. So he's in the zone, ticking these laps off quite comfortably at the moment. Be very surprised if he came in on this lap. The only reason he'd be doing that is to sign some autographs at the members' night.
That's right, he's got other commitments tonight. He's got to do his real job, be a race car driver. Look after the fans there at the Eseries. Oh, Thomas Maxwell.
Dancing.
Get your notebook out, note that one down. Don't do that in real life when we go back in October. Matt McLean gets a run.
Cool.
Down Conrod. It puts him on the wrong side of the road, though, for the entry to the chase.
Oh.
Go side by side in this race because it doesn't hurt if you get it wrong.
Whee! They bang doors right at the critical moment and they get away with it.
Good racing.
Good stuff. Good move, Matt McLean. Set it up at the chase. Set it up at the elbow. Got it done at the chase. Maxwell maybe with the momentum to fight back.
McLean straight to the lane.
So McLean versus Maxwell. And McLean into the pits, as is Aaron Borg. So handing that over to second in the championship. Brad Vaughan is in the cool drive car. It's a busy pit lane all of a sudden.
James Golding continues on. Pioneer DJ Commodore this week.
So, got to hit your marks in pit lane. Find your pit bay. We can't see it from our camera angle, but they can. And Jonathan, that minimum pit stop window has been achieved.
Yep, 47.1 seconds. Around that mark we're expecting every team and every driver to take, because at the click of a button, you change the driver in the cockpit. That little virtual helmet looks very cute in the cockpit there as well, sitting nice and steady. You can actually design that paint scheme in iRacing too. The little helmet, you can your own personal one. You can add it into the game if you want to. Now, bigger news and better news. Cooper Murray, who's teammates with Jake Burton. Jake Burton leads our Pro Series Championship. Cooper Murray's lost connection too, and that was 1 lap before his minimum 9 laps he's required to complete. So they're sitting in the pit lane, and I think Jake Burton will need to come back and pit one more time in this race. He's about to jump in the car, but that is absolutely heartbreaking for our championship leader. I think their race is done and dusted. I think they're going to finish no greater than the back, but let's see at the end of this one.
Oh no. 1 lap away, and that could be the difference of $10,000 prize money for winning this championship. So as it stands, that car wouldn't have done the minimum laps yet.
Hasn't done the laps it required prior to the pit window, or fulfilling the Pro Series or the All-Star Series laps. So timing screen is still showing Cooper Murray has control of the number 8 Commodore.
I wonder if Jake fully, or looking at the look at his face right now, I'd say he fully understands what's going on.
Sink in a little bit now.
Yeah.
That would be a terrible feeling. Like absolutely nothing Jake Burton can do about that. Like not one thing. It's not his equipment. It's not his internet connection. Your championship in the hands.
So thinking on the fly here, keep him out there. You're going to be essentially on a 2-stop strategy. Keep him out, hope for the late safety car. Have fresh tyres for the restart.
Well, you got to. Jake Burton still has to fulfill his minimum amount of laps, so he still needs to do a minimum of 6. So you need that safety car to come prior to lap 16, or at the lap 16 mark. So you can take that stop under safety car, which you are allowed to do tonight. You're allowed to take your compulsory pit stop under BP Ultimate Safety Car. As Gilliam comes out of the lane, so Ruben Goodall, tick, good first stint, led early, didn't put a foot wrong. Sure, Brody Kostecki opened a gap, but he did everything he needed to do, Ruben Goodall, to hand the car over to Andrew Gilliam.
Yeah, intriguing fight at the front of this field right now.
See which car has played itself into the game nicely is the 14.
Yeah.
Madison down. He just keeps turning up on race day, doesn't he?
He could be leading with the championship lead tonight.
Given what's going on with Jake Burton.
BJR have 3 cars in this fight right now. One who desperately needs a safety car, one who doesn't want a safety car, and then this guy who's sort of like, either way, I'm fine.
I'm cool, I've got track position.
They're looking good at the moment in the Cup Cadet colours. And they've also been able to get a spot back here as well. So looking very quick indeed. On a hat-trick of race wins. And I wonder if he knows what has happened to his teammate. Elsewhere in this race right now, they're currently being scored all the way down in 16th spot and still with a pit stop to come. Dunlop racing car not having a good night tonight. His fastest lap of the race again. Suzlin Harlow has been really quick. 2:04.4 fastest lap so far. And they are sitting second. Their strategy is to run long.
They're running out of time. Thinking it's lap 13 that Suzlin Harlow has to pit.
Yep.
Otherwise, he exceeds the maximum allowed time that he's allowed to drive as a Pro Series driver.
Yeah, so really, that rule change really shrunk the pit window in between 9 and 13.
Looking at some lap times. The car on screen right now, Madison Down, has just laid down a 2:03.8. Whoa. It's a lazy 6/10 faster than the previous fastest lap that we saw from Jackson Suzlin Harlow. So Madison Down is in a rich vein of form right now.
Gilliam's right there with him.
So don't forget, Gilliam came out of pit lane on that previous lap, so he's been tailing Madison Down. Locks a brake into the cutting, runs it wide.
Oh,
Gilliam tries to get around the outside. This gets a bit hairy, gets a bit tight here.
Who's going to blink?
Yeah, Jennings with the car on the outside will run out of room. Concrete wall does not move for anybody.
That's about the closest we've seen him to a mistake all year so far for Madison Down. That was close. Suzlin Harlow still working away further up the road for Brad Jones Racing, doing a nice job at the moment. That was close, and Anderson now back in this fight as well, with these two dueling in this manner. Laps ticking by at Bathurst, past the halfway mark already. Laps seem to disappear at this track quickly. Ironic given its size. Headlights flashing for Gilliam, wants to get through, he's got the car speed. Back end of that Madison Down car dancing around on that last lap. There's a live look at the truck assist driver right now. Little look to the mirrors. Anderson not close enough. Is he close enough to the Brad Jones racing car to try and make the move stick? The pole sitter. Put it inside the top 5. Ruben Goodall did the rest in the shootout.
A little bit of curb at the chase for Madison Down. Does that give Gilliam a chance to sniff up the inside of the final corner? Gets close, but decides not to. So pretty intense racing between these two right now. That was a 2:04.9 for Madison Down. So that little moment at the cutting on the previous lap cost him around a second by the time they went side by side up through Reed Park. Gilliam that lap a little bit taily coming off turn 1. So the intensity level right up there between these two. To our race leader, Brodie Kostecki, continues on his merry way. He'll be coming to the lane very shortly. See, when he always looks up there, he's looking at the timing screen above his actual race monitor. So he knows exactly where everyone is. Yeah. So you can get out to 16. Starting to lose a little bit of time, though, is Kostecki. His last lap was a 5.9 versus Suzlin Harlow's a 5 dead. So lost a second. Here he comes. Kostecki to the lane. Suzlin Harlow follows. He has to come, given he's a Pro Series driver. So different windows for different classified drivers, but ultimately they both come to the lane at the same time. And look at Harlow. Just shortcuts it beautifully into the lane. Takes a huge amount of time out of Brodie Kostecki.
He's been watching Shane Van Gisbergen highlight clips.
Yeah, I'm surprised Brodie wasn't awake to that one. He knows most of the tricks.
So pit stop battle. Can Brad Jones Racing jump the Erebus team in the pits? As Jake Burton will hop into the Dunlop car. And they are currently down a lap. They're about to get that lap back if they can get out here ahead of the leaders. They do. And they will be just so desperate for a safety car.
Just ahead of the leaders too by the time Brodie Kostecki gets going. So they need a safety car. Close that gap back up again. Give them any sort of chance to get sort of anywhere near the top 10.
And then they'll be right at the back.
Yeah, right at the back of the queue.
A tough night for them.
Oh,
Potential.
this is going to be tight.
Not quite enough in it. Phil Sell now comes to life in the Boost Mobile car. Up against Jordan Boys. That hardly seems a fair fight, that one.
That's right. Jordan Boys goes all right in the real thing. But we know how good Jordan Phil Sell is on iRacing.
The Boys is going to come out right in the middle of that massive pack behind him that were dueling away earlier. So, and that is a Brad Jones Racing car in behind him that could be leading the championship tonight. This will really test Jordan Boys. This is the yin to the yang on that strategy. It was great watching Susan Harlow pass all those cars earlier, but there will be a price to pay, and they desperately cannot have a safety car here for their strategy tonight, or that'll be throwing Jordan Boys to the wolves big time on the restart. Phil Sell is out of here.
Yeah, nice job. I was about to say the exact same thing. Nice outlap from Phil Sell. Put the hammer down straight away. Capitalise on that work that Brodie Kostecki did early. Got them out 6th on the grid to the lead within 2.5 laps. No mean feat around Mount Panorama. Real life or iRacing. And then now this battle. Let's just have a check the oil level in the rear end of the Cup Cadet Commodore.
Oh, this is tight.
It's Boys just up ahead. So teammates between Jordan Boys, Madison Down. But all-star driver versus pro driver.
Locked in, down Conrad. The train's going to come past. He'll let his teammate go through.
Yeah, I feel like this will be an easy one.
Yep.
And then the door will close right there.
Can he play rear gunner here?
Yes,
he does too.
Nice job. Gilliam decides he'll go right around the outside. Does he get it done? Yes, he does.
He split him.
Now Anderson. He wants to hang around the outside for the run down to the final corner.
Good driving. Jordan Boys
has just been given an iRacing lesson by the pros.
Trying desperately to stay out of the way then.
In all reality now, what Boys needs to do is just settle in now, in behind the Cool Drive Mustang, and just chase these guys as hard as he can for as long as he can over the next 7 laps. It's still a net gain of 5 spots for the 96 Commodore. So the strategy's working if Boys can stay with these cars in front.
So top 5 on the cards for them tonight. Jack Boyd has also been into the pits in the BP Ultimate car, which means that Jake Maloney now takes over those colours and will drive to the checkered flag. 7.5 laps to go for your race leader, Jared Filsell, who is climbing up towards the cutting at the moment and looking pretty handsome in this race right now. Bigger championship combatants have had disastrous nights, including Dane Warren and Jake Burton with internet issues, befalling 2 of the biggest names in the field. How will that affect the championship at the end of the night?
Yeah, find themselves in 18th and 19th at the moment. So catastrophic for those cars and teams. This is a nice little battle though. Shepherd and Stewart going hard at it. Run out of the cutting, run up to Reed Park.
Job Stewart, Erebus junior driver, will be in the field this weekend. Actually raced for Erebus last year in the Pro E-Series. Oh, that was close. Shepherd running it all the way out to the grate, and then up on the curbs here, approaching McPhillamy. In the Toyota 86s this weekend, Job Stewart, where he's picked up a bunch of podium place finishes, doing a really nice job there. And is that the BP Ultimate safety car I see moving?
Is it board, the safety car? Is it just going for a drive? But
no, it is. BP Ultimate safety car has been deployed. And we are hearing there's a virtual spiky marsupial somewhere up near the cutting. That would explain it.
I didn't believe it when it happened in real life. The 1000 last year.
We need to write to the guys at iRacing and see if we can actually...
Less likely to believe it tonight. At least there was vision of the real thing last year. But ultimately, the BP Ultimate safety car finds its way out onto Mountain Straight, picks up our race leader, Jared Filsell. Madison Down will thank you very much. He'll take that because that closes the gap up nicely.
There it is. Yep, at the cutting.
Looks like old mate from last year. It doesn't look like it's happening right here, right now.
Can't believe how good these graphics are in iRacing. It looks so real.
Incredible, isn't it? It's amazing how they do that.
Well, you get the feeling that Jared Filsell probably had a feeling that one was coming. They didn't run him long tonight, like they did at Sandown. They had another 3 laps in the window there that they could have gone. As it is, they'll have similar tyre life to Madison down behind them. 3rd and 2nd in the championship, sit 1st and 2nd on the road, and that is the reason why BP Ultimate Safety Car.
Wasn't an albino wallaby that as well?
Yes,
out there at the same time. Yep.
The albino wallaby we've seen living on the Mount Panorama signage as well, which is interesting. I just half wonder if he was there when they painted. Chad would explain.
Spray gun got him.
The colour. But this is going to be interesting restart. Good news for Jake Burton. Is he on the lead lap? I believe so, Jonathan. That'll give him a chance here. And did you see the echidna from where you were sitting, Jonathan?
Yeah, I know. So iRacing's laser scanned this circuit. Every letterbox has been laser scanned. What have you got? Every tarmac, every bump as well, and the echidnas too. How about that too? How about the kangaroos? Did you spot any of those out there?
I think so.
There might have been one. I think. Yeah, I might double check that for you guys. The exclusive pit reports of the E-Series coming in for you now, and that is the championship. So All-Stars, let's start off with that. The championship's going to go down to the final round. So let me take a quick look at this one more time. Got it now. It's Brody Kostecki who will still lead the championship, but it's Justin Rugia who sits in 2nd, 130 points behind as it stands. Those two will battle it for the Pro Series, and this is where it gets very interesting. Madison Down will lead the championship. Jared Filsell 5 points behind as it stands, and that's how it's going to be like going into Oran Park if they finished 1st and 2nd, which is where they sit at the moment.
Interesting. How much further down would Jake Burton be on that scenario?
So that's where, well, sorry, Chad, that's why on my calculations he's 42 points behind. So he's still in contention, which is the good part. Especially because he's still got some time to make up for points. So the things I take from that, Garth, are Burton needs to pass some cars to make up for it. Have a look at Matt McLean having a jam. Well, he is sponsored by Shaw, so it makes a lot of sense, but we might get him playing some live music for us in the show tonight, I reckon.
I want to see him do that in his Super 2 car on the weekend.
That's cool.
Go on the BP Ultimate Safety Car.
It's like winning at Nashville
in the Dunlop
NASCAR
Series. I want to see him get the guitar from the passenger side footwell out and start strumming away.
So championship implications tonight. Hobson restarting in 7th. If he drops spots, Brody Kostecki could actually win the championship tonight with that 150-point gap that sits now at 130 odd. So that could blow out if Hobson loses some spots. And similarly, Burton needs to climb up from 16th. He will restart here, 16th place, desperately needs to pick up some cars. And this is where if they could have gone a few more laps before pitting, you could have had fresh tyres for the restart.
Yeah.
And the battle is on at the front. Filsell, Down, Gilliam, Anderson, and poor Jordan Boys, who is going to be looking left and right constantly up Mountain Straight as they're all going to jump on him on this restart. Maloney coming to the pits. That's an interesting one. They were the last one to pit.
It's a strange one.
That is a strange move as we go back to green flag conditions. It's a really nice restart for Jared Filsell. Boost Mobile, Erebus are running away at the front of the field. That gap has been evaporated, and the crew will be watching on at the Members Night Live, and the battle is on behind them, and that is Hobson, and they're jumping all over him.
They're all over him. So this is not what Justin Rougier wants to see.
Could have big championship ramifications. Hobson doesn't know where to put that car. He sticks it right in the middle and defends 2 at once. Kuznetsov runs it out wide.
So that was actually Hobson going forward on Boys, so concerned about him. Oh, Kuznetsov up the inside. Shepherd gives him racing room.
This will be the queue of cars queuing up behind Jordan Boys.
Heard of the Truly train, Monaco?
The boys' bus.
The boys' bandwagon.
The boys' bandwagon at Bathurst as Jordan Boys is getting absolutely jumped on right now. And this actually worked out really nicely for Hobson. So he got up a spot. You're right.
And opened the gap.
Yeah.
So he's creating protection effectively.
He's running away from the bus at the moment down the hill. So that could keep the All-Star Championship light burning to the last round.
Oh, boys, runs it heavily defensive into Forest Elbow.
Oh, man.
Have a go at the train.
If this all kicks off, this could really help Jake Burton. He's up 2 spots on the restart from 16th to 14th as Gardner pulls out and gets that move done. Surely.
Try and go around the outside as they head into the chase. Oh, a little bit squirrely. Just gets it stopped. But boys, deep.
Oh, drama here. Shepherd up on the curb.
From Shepherd.
This is exactly the wild card that Jake Burton needs to get him back into this championship fight right now.
As long as something doesn't happen in front and Burton gets involved. It's Caruso in the Monster Mustang having a look up the inside. He was basically inside pit lane on the way to the final corner. Boys is getting monstered by Caruso.
This is wild stuff. Burton in the inside. Watch out for the yellow Dunlop car. How many more can he pick up? He's up 2 spots there.
On this lap, with potential for a few more before this is over. Four and a bit to go.
No change for the leaders. Phil Sell still leads down, and Gilliam, and this fight is well and truly on.
Oh, is that Stewart? Sends it up the inside of Boys at 2. Burton's got a couple here. He's got a good run off 2.
And he gets importantly around Jordan Boys in that one move as well.
Another 2 for Jake Burton. So this BP Ultimate Safety Car restart has really helped Jake Burton, our championship leader for the Pro Series. Brought him right back into the game, got the lap back that he needed, put him on the tail of the train. Everyone's running it right to the wall. The exit of Reed Park.
Stewart whacked the wall at the Great, lost a ton of momentum. He's falling back into the clutches here of Cooper Webster. Cooper's been quite speedy so far this year, was running inside those top 3 spots earlier at Winton for round 1. So has quite a lot of car speed, probably faster than where he is on the road right now, but we did see his teammate Jackson Walls have a slide off the road earlier in the race, so he's making up for lost ground as well. He'll be quite a hard car for Jake Burton to pass, given his speed. Caruso's also fast as well, so there's still some fast cars in this pack.
We've got fast cars. Our leader right now in the last lap just laid down at 2:03.5 for the fastest lap of the race, so plenty of speed at the head of the field. Caruso up the inside at the chase. Makes that move. Nicely done on the 54 Shaw Commodore.
Yeah, Kuznetsov had the big momentum, but nowhere to go with it. A little look from Burton. Take you on board with the Shaw car. We're right in the middle of that fight right now. 4 laps to go. How many more can Burton pick up? Still the fight goes on in the background. A little bit of a moment there as well for Brady Myers. He was sideways, just put that right rear on the grass. Entrance to turn 1. Seen that happen before in the real world.
Yeah. Easily done down. That's strange at turn 1. It happens so often down at turn 1. It's just your standard run-of-the-mill 90-degree corner, but everyone manages to drop a wheel in the dirt. Is Webster up the inside, gets it done on Stewart.
Burton be hoping to try and slide through. Every car that Team 18 car passes, he'll want one as well. Incredible at these graphics as well. It's Phil Sell. Looks so real in the iRacing world. Works the top of the mountain. 3.5 laps to go. And they're on a hat-trick of endurance wins. The man behind him is on a hat-trick of race wins so far in this championship. Who's going to get 3 in a row? Gilliam doing a really nice job as well.
He's hung in there nicely, as is Anderson in the Cool Drive Mustang as well. So the top 4, really nothing between them. Sneeze and you'll lose a spot at the front here. So the battle for the podium is coming up with 3 to go. Far from over. And Madison Down's done a nice job here. A couple of laps older on his tyres than Phil Sell. Managed to go with him.
Just flying in that Erwin Tools car. He's driving away from Stewart, and now he's putting the battle on with Kuznetsov and just swings on through.
Nice move.
2 in a lap.
It looks to me like Jake Burton's lost a couple of spots.
Yeah, something's
just behind
here.
that. Burton's dropped back to 13th. There's a bit going on here.
3 wide for a moment.
Threading the needle.
Got it done.
Through Stewart and Wayne Burke. Got it done. So picked up a few of those that he lost. There's 2 back. So Jake Burton finds himself up in 11th at the end of that lap.
I get the feeling something happened with he and the SwiftX car on that lap. Also, the SwiftX car is missing some parts.
Got a new livery down the side.
I wonder if Burton's got any damage, bent steering or anything similar that could hamper him for the rest of this race. He's back up to 11th, so it's been a pretty good recovery drive, up 5 spots. As he desperately tries to get some points back at the end of this race. Burke side by side with Myers, and this battle continuing, dying stages, 2.5 laps to go, Jonathan.
And you saw the BP car dive into the lane. I don't like side-by-side through the cutting, guys. We know we've seen so many trackers jam moments there over the years. Well done, by the way, for Phil Sell and Kostecki. If they win this one, they'll win every single driver change event we've had in the E-Series. By the way, back to that Maloney situation. So they didn't fuel the car enough. So that BP car ended up back into the pit lane because there wasn't enough fuel. Championship challenge. This will fascinate you guys. 5 drivers at the moment in contention for the championship going into the final round.
Wow, I'd love to know what that points gap between Madison Down and Jake Burton will be at the end of the night. Hard to know at the moment as Burton is continuing to climb spots. Rick Kuznetsov will be next on his hit list. He'd love to try and salvage a top 10 tonight. And that championship fight will be on the last round at Oran Park. Always a cool place to wrap up a championship.
Oran Park was the traditional end to the sprint portion of the Touring Car Championship back in the day. It was always the final round before we started the Enduros back in the 90s.
Caruso and Gardner have been swapping spots, and they've swapped spots again. It is Jordan Caruso, not Michael Caruso in those colours, although we have seen Caruso driving the Monster Energy car before. And doing a nice job now, sitting comfortably inside the top 10. They put that car inside the top 10 early today.
It's not done at the front. Phil Sell's been constantly moving around, trying to shake Madison Down out of the draft each time, up Mountain Straight and down Conrod each lap. So Phil Sell's not as comfortable as he probably would like. Madison Down sitting right on his rear bumper, just on half a second first to second.
Just on the Monster Energy Mustang. Remember that car was the one that had the massive shunt on lap 1 and had to pit lap 1.
Had to rebuild the entire car after lap 1, considering it was upside down, leaving the chase.
So they've had a 2-stop strategy, unforced.
Yeah.
2-stop strategy, and as a result, they're back inside the top 10.
Yeah, nice job. Nice recovery.
Lap and a half to go, across the top. Phil Sell looking comfortable. So good in these endurance races. What a combo he and Brody Kostecki are. Kostecki won't have the championship wrapped up yet, with Hobson sitting nicely inside the top 5. Doing a really good job driving with Justin Ruggier tonight. They finished 5th at Sandown, and they're looking at 5th again tonight. So nice and consistent.
Nice and consistent, absolutely.
Also had a good run at Michigan in the sprint race there with his speedway background for Brenton Hobson. Ran in the 2019 E-Series, the original, the OG E-Series back in 2019. As did Phil Sell, as did Madison Down on the very first race. No change at the front as we get set to start the last lap. And this championship fight is going to be just about as close as it can possibly get with 1 round to go if they finish in this order.
As you were mentioning the words championship fight, I saw on the timing screen Jake Burton make up another spot. Finds himself inside the top 10. So that's been a nice recovery drive after this late safety car. Brody Kostecki's looking extremely excited and motivated watching his teammate Jared Phil Sell bring this one home.
Well, Gilliam with a good exit.
Yeah, he's going to wear out the headlights on this car.
If he can pass Madison Down, that championship gets even closer. It sits at 5 points right now. That truck assist car, we've already seen him have a crack at second place tonight when there was that little mistake from Madison Down. Last lap, and it's on inside the top 3 at Bathurst. Championship ramifications will play out from here. This is where Down made that mistake earlier, hugs it to the left-hand side. He's closing as well on Phil Sell.
This is really tightening up. The gap at the end of the previous lap was just over 1.2 seconds, Phil Sell to Madison Down. That's down to 0.4 of a second now. You visually see how close Madison Down is to the back of that Boost Mobile Erebus Commodore. saying that Andrew Gilliam might be a chance for elevate himself to second. Well, Madison Down's got his eyes on elevating himself to the top step of the podium as they make their way down the Forest Elbow, but Phil Sell did a nice job off the dipper.
Oh. It's going to be close. The last time, Gilliam throws everything at the elbow, desperate to get an exit that would give him a chance at Brad Jones Racing, desperately trying to drop the slipstream. The boost car swerves left to right. Grandstand finish, as only Bathurst can provide. Headlights flashing and flashing them back to say, I don't care, you can flash them as much as you want. It's not going to make me miss my braking marker. Down here in the last sector, Boost Mobile Erebus again. They are just too good in these Enduros. Last corner and less than half a second in it. Less than 5 points in it in the championship when we go to the last round. Phil Sell and Kostecki combined for the victory. Madison Down, your new championship leader with one race to go. First, second, his last 3 races. Where has he come from in this championship? And that guy on screen right now has a commanding lead in the All-Star Series. A chance to have some refreshments down there. And a chance to celebrate for Jared Philsell. Meanwhile, coming through in the Dunlop colours, Jake Burton, a great recovery to 10th. He took the restart in 16th. The BP Ultimate Safety Car was exactly what the doctor ordered for him. He picks up 6 spots in those last 6 laps. And this championship is well and truly alive. It was 42 points first to third before the restart. Get the feeling that has gone down considerably. And it's going to be awesome next week. But well done, Brodie Kostecki, Jared Philsell, Boost Mobile Erebus back on top. Aaron Borg gets second place tonight. He did a really good job all night, actually.
He did. Put him on the front row in the shootout. Did a great job, did Aaron Borg.
Yep, had a job to do tonight. Ruben Goodall again. That's third 2 weeks in a row for him. Back-to-back podiums. 4th career podium for Andrew Gilliam. And 10th place, Jake Burton doing a really good job to recover, given that they were looking at potentially being about last, which is unfortunately where Dane Warren ended up. And you hate to see that. Internet issues in the earlier stint for Jaden Ojeda. Bosch race highlights, and we love racing at Bathurst. It was the Truck Assist Matt Stone Racing team on pole. Ruben Goodall, after a win inside the top 5 shootout, to get that car to the front of the grid was a great effort. And that was a close moment. Cooper Murray and Jaden Ojeda getting together. The big one happened on the opening lap. Wham! How about that one for Geordie Sinney, up and over in the monster car.
Yeah, big one. And then the very start of the second lap, we saw this moment with Clay Richards and Cameron Crick. Heavy contact there. See, catch this one live. Whoa. Cool Drive Mustang, high, wide and handsome at the exit of McPhillamy. And then dramas for the Dunlop Commodore. Cooper Murray at the time. Internet dropout issues. His teammate Jake Burton thought she was all over right there and then. Madison Down did a nice job through the pit stop cycle, get the Cub Cadet Commodore up into second, and made a small mistake up at the cutting.
Jordan Boys was going to be sitting there waiting and ready to go after Jackson Suzlin Harlow started the session and then handed it over. So Phil Sell comes out of pit lane after taking the Boost Mobile car of Brodie Kostecki. Boys takes the car off Suzlin Harlow. And then there was a late race restart, which really did ignite things. Fighting his way from 16th on the restart was Jake Burton, fighting back from the internet issues. And the front 3 guys, they were really close all the way to the checkered flag. Boost Mobile Erebus get a trio of wins in the Enduros. Jake Burton slips down to 3rd in the championship. Madison Down, now your new championship leader, just 5 points clear of Jared Philsell. Where do we start with that one? That was another entertaining Bathurst classic. And they are just so good in endurance mode, so a perfect time to light up the short live chat with Brodie Kostecki and see exactly how the heart rate is off the end of that one. And have you enjoyed the members' night tonight out there, racing live with your friends at Erebus, including Barry Ryan? Nice job, mate. Well done tonight, Brodie.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been a really good night here at Erebus. Yeah, we had our members night here tonight, so we had a lot of our members come out. So it was cool to see all of them. We haven't had one in about 3 years, so it was great to see everyone. And they also got to see me race as well. And unfortunately, they missed out on me doing the shootout because of Jared. But he polished himself up there towards the end there and got the win.
Now, mate, you've been talking yourself up pretty heavily in this iRacing caper. So did you feel like there was a little bit of pressure tonight with all the Erebus fans at the workshop watching you do your thing?
Not at all, mate. Not at all. Not at all.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, it was a bit strange having people sort of walk around in your your peripheral vision. So you don't really get that at home when you're sort of by yourself. So it was great to have everyone there, and they got to get a bit of an insight into how it all sort of works as well. So yeah, it was cool to have everyone there.
Brodie, I came down to the Erebus Open Day on Sunday, and right where you're sitting, they had some Daytona machines and some Sega Rally machines. Is that what you were using tonight?
No, I wasn't, Chad. I haven't actually sat in one of them since I was about 4 years old.
I reckon you'd win in that too, mate. Hey, well done. You got a big championship lead for next week. You want to seal this one up?
Yeah, definitely. It was great to get that win there, and I think we're pretty close to clinching the championship as well. So I was a bit nervous about this one, obviously not being at home and doing all the workshop. But thanks to everyone at SimRigs as well for giving me a sim to use. So thanks to them.
All right, well done, Brodie. You are looking very good for the All-Stars Championship. Best of luck, of course, this weekend. We can't wait to see him in action at the Penrite Oil Sandown Super Sprint. It's a track that he loves. 2 thumbs up from Brodie. And we need to hear from the fans. Who was the top performer tonight? The Repco top performer. There's a $1,500 Visa gift card up for grabs at the end of the season. There's just one more round to go. And we've got lots to look forward to in the Supercars World Garth. Real racing this weekend, and then we're off to Oran Park virtually the week after.
Yep, a couple of old favourites. Sandown this weekend for the Repco Supercars Championship, and then the grand finale of the Cash Converters E-Series, Oran Park. That's going to be a ripper.
Yeah, you can join us live all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on Fox Sports for that one. We cannot wait for the championship finale next Wednesday night. Who's it going to be? The All-Stars, it looks like Brodie Kostecki, Madison Down and Brad Jones Racing now the championship leader. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you on the weekend at Sandown. Thanks for joining us for night number 5 of the Cash Converters Supercars E-Series.